We start round number 7. Scheduled for 12. Bob Papa along with Dave Bontempo. Glad you can join us. Loreto Garza in the red against Juan Coggi, the WBA junior welterweight champion from the Acropolis in Nice, France. Right now, Garza is getting into a rhythm as he backs up Coggi again.
He has begun to time Coggi and understand what Coggi is trying to do with all the little things, with the jabbing and with the moving, and he's doing things behind it. Whereas Coggi's still not reacting to what Garza throwing at him.
Right now, Coggi just looks a bit flat.
And it's really because of the style of this fight, I believe. Yeah, he reminds me a lot of a younger and lighter Mustafa Hamsho, who in the middleweight division could plod fighters to death and get some good body shots, but almost always would go the route in his fights toward the end of his career.
Right hand by Garza got in there as well. You think he maybe underestimated Loreto Garza?
Now, I just think it's the way this fight has come up stylistically, because you would figure a champion cannot afford to underestimate, especially against somebody who doesn't know.
Good combination by Garza as we show you the rooftop shot. And he rocked back the head of Coggi.
I just think that with Coggi, it's a matter of he's got to be set. He's got to have everything right in front of him to be effective, and Garza is not always right there for him.
Lunging left by Coggi got in. Under a minute to go in round number 7. Garza in control. Coggi a bit short there with that. Garza answers back with a left jab of his own.
And Garza always moving after he throws his punches, even if it is subtle. And Coggi has to look for him that much more. He's not making it easy for Coggi to find punching range. And you see, Coggi always has to regroup.
And once again, Garza backs up Coggi as we hit the final 10 seconds of round 7. Good middle round action for Loreto Garza as he tries to unseat Coggi and take away the WBA Junior Welterweight Championship. And a good round for Loreto Garza. The fighter is accidentally cut and the fight cannot continue, or if the fighter does continue and subsequently that cut becomes severe enough to stop the fight, the fighter who is ahead on the scorecards will be the winner. And we are past the 3rd round, so that's what would be in effect according to the WBA rules. We start round number 8. Dave, how do you see it scored through 7?
A 3-point lead for Garza, actually winning the last 3 rounds of this fight after a slow start. He is taking the initiative.
What does Coggi have to do, the champion, to solve this puzzle?
He's got to be willing to take more of a chance than he is. Right now, he's sitting back and trying to be too much of a technician. He's got to try to trade.
Well, right there, they traded. Both scored. Coggi a bit more effective. There have been no knockdowns.
The problem for Coggi here is Garza is a split-second faster on these exchanges, and in that case, maybe there is nothing he can do. He also could try to go to the body a little bit more and slow down Garza.
Right there, he roughed up Garza just a little bit.
That's a good tactic, but that's all he's been trying to do. He's not really complementing it with other things as Garza is in his play.
Good combination by Garza, and you hear the Sacramento fans roar from behind.
And he launched that punch actually as he was retreating. Garza looks the fresher of the 2 fighters also. He's hungrier. He knows what he has to get here.
And he snapped back the head of Coggi, and he's got Coggi in a bit of trouble. Garza, who's only been on a plane once before, is making his traveling worthwhile as he tries to take away the junior welterweight title from Juan Coggi here in Nice.
And you just see his confidence growing every time one of those shots lands flush. He's being smart to stay within himself, but he's also staying actively within himself. The Coggi's just trying to set up a bomb or to get him close and rough him up. Coggi has no answer for the subtle movement that Garza is employing here. It's not drastic, but it's enough to throw Coggi off.
And the counter right hand by Garza has found its mark in the last couple of rounds as well. We now pause for a regional break. Loreto Garza appears a step closer to Juan Coggi's WBA junior welterweight title. Back with more after this. Round number 9 underway. It is scheduled for 12. And you sense some urgency from Juan Coggi's corner because Loreto Garza is taking the fight to the champion.
And it's not a good stylistic fight for Coggi in which you would figure that he can rally. He's always got to be plotting. He's got to be having things just his way. And Garza is faster and taking it away from him.
Well, Coggi's last 4 fights have been in Nice. This is a hometown for him, and you would expect Garza needs a relatively convincing performance over the last 4 rounds to win the fight.
All you'd have to do is go back to Pernell Whitaker and Jose Luis Ramirez in France to realize that you can win very big and still not get it. So you want to make it as convincing as possible. And it's not just winning the close rounds, it's the way you win them. You actually have to make the opponent look frustrated and like he can never get to you.
Minute gone by in round number 9. Again, Coggi not letting his hands fly. Garza the quicker man.
It seems like, strangely, Coggi is comfortable with the pace, and he has to pick it up a lot.
Garza doing a good job tying up Coggi there. And then scores on his own. And you see the quickness in the hands of Garza.
And the fact that he can move, plant, and then get off a good, quick shot. That is something Coggi cannot do. Coggi has to wear him down, which makes the fact he hasn't gone to the body in this fight even more surprising. For Coggi to win, Garza has to be in front of him, and that's not what Garza is.
Just under a minute to go in round number 9. It's scheduled for 12. Loreto Garza in the red with a convincing last 5 rounds. This could make it 6 rounds.
Coggi's still too content with the amount of punches he's throwing and the amount of work he's doing, which is not enough. He's fighting as if he's got a 3-point lead, and in reality, he's probably got a 3 or 4 point deficit.
At this point, Garza has been quicker with his punches and quicker with his defense. Now Coggi scores near the end here of round number 9, roughing up Garza. We'll be back with round number 10 and the final 2 after this on Sports Channel America. Welcome back to the Acropolis in Nice, France. Bob Papa along with Dave Bontempo. We start round number 10 of this scheduled 12-round bout. Loreto Garza of Sacramento, California in the red trunks, trying to take away Juan Coggi's WBA Junior Welterweight Championship. Coggi finished with a message at the end of round number 9, scoring to Garza, although Garza controlled the round. It appears Coggi is going to have to start that a bit earlier in each round.
That's got to be his blueprint. He's got to dare Garza to knock him out, stalk forward, and just try to rough him up and go with body shots and then go to the head from there. You saw at the end of the round it was not stylish what he was trying to do against Garza, but for him it was effective. He's got to have the entire fight that way.
Dave, how do you see it scored to this point?
Becoming quite lopsided for Garza. I've got him ahead by 5 after 9 rounds, which breaks down to 7 rounds to 2. He's doing so much more, and Coggi looks good when he's active, but he's not active enough.
It has not been a brawl. A laid-back type fight in which Garza has dictated the pace and scored the more telling blows.
And surprisingly, Coggi has been content with that pace. You would think that somewhere the sense of urgency would be in his corner and even in his own head. You get an idea of what you're doing in a fight.
Garza's chin caught a punch there, but he comes right back. Coggi doesn't follow it up. He's not doubling or tripling his punches.
And I think he's got a bit of a stamina problem here, too, because he hasn't pushed the pace the entire fight. His mouth is open, he's breathing a little bit heavy, and he's only fighting in spurts.
Under a minute to go in round 10. But you never know with the scoring. Remember, Garza from Sacramento fighting here in Nice, and this is where Coggi fights out of.
Yeah, when you go on the road in a place like this, you've got to figure you're already 2 rounds down and fight like that.
There have been no knockdowns. Loreto Garza and Juan Coggi. We'll be back with the final 2 rounds of the WBA Junior Welterweight Championship fight after this timeout. We begin round number 11, the final 2 rounds of this junior welterweight bout. Juan Coggi's WBA title on the line. Loreto Garza appears in good shape, poised to take it away. And if my Spanish is even close, in between rounds, Coggi's corner pleaded with him. You've got to throw some shots to the body and then work back up to the head, and you've got to start throwing combinations.
Something we've been talking about really in the last 5 to 6 rounds of this fight. It's just a matter of he's not willing to exert enough energy to do that. Because his first problem is getting Garza into the punching range. And if Garza's moving a little bit, that's more work for Coggi, and he's not willing to do it right now.
For Garza, I would say the concern is not to sit on the lead.
That's right. You cannot change what's been successful, especially...
Oh, and Coggi goes down. Was it from a punch or a slip?
It was something that looked like a combination of both, and they're not ruling that a knockdown.
That could factor in the scoring.
Garza has to keep moving and fighting aggressively and with this same kind of rhythm. Because if he stops, then the styles will favor Coggi.
The first time we saw an attempt of a right hook from Coggi. It's under a minute gone by in round number 11.
When you observe the punch selection, Coggi is lost out there. Doesn't know exactly how he wants to put them together, whereas Garza is in tune.
Coggi has been basically straight ahead as Garza scores with a left. You see Coggi trying to lean in there, and Garza just countered.
The speed really working against Coggi. Many fights he's been able to lean in and do the damage.
Coggi said he was okay there, but after he absorbed a few more punches.
And once you take some punches on the way in, it can tend to make a fighter tentative the next time, and that tentative aspect has been all around with Coggi.
Combination just a bit short from Garza. That left hand scored. This is the 3rd time we've seen Garza. We've seen him beat Tomas de Cruz and Rosenberg Rojas here on Sports Channel America, and a step up in class, and we are seeing a step up in his fight game as well. We now pause for a regional break. Back with the 12th and maybe deciding round for the WBA Junior Welterweight title after this timeout on Sports Channel America. The 12th and final round. Juan Coggi in the white, the current WBA Junior Welterweight champion. The challenger, Loreto Garza, in the red from Sacramento, trying to take it away. And right now, Garza appears in good shape.
It's been a real good performance for him. He's utilized the ring well. He's stayed busy. He's taken advantage of the openings created by his movement.
Coggi won this title just over 3 years ago.
It's always so strange for a fighter how to go into the last round. You don't want to be going all out for a knockout when you're in the lead, but sometimes the adrenaline carries you. You know it's the end. You don't want to leave anything in the ring.
Well, according to our scorecards, Coggi would need the knockout, but who knows what the judges see. Lead right by Coggi, digging to the body.
This is what Coggi should have tried to do for 12 rounds.
Final 2 minutes of the fight. Garza appears a little bit tentative. Comes back with a right hand, scoring while backing away. That's an impressive sign.
When you see a fighter open up, as Coggi has here in the 12th, with a lot more energy than he's had in previous rounds, you wonder if maybe he didn't pace himself properly throughout the fight. He perhaps has too much left.
Well, as you mentioned, his punch selection has not been good. Basically straight ahead. We've seen, a combination there by Coggi. Got in hooks and uppercuts from Garza. Not much from Coggi.
Well, we talked earlier about the mirror images, and somebody would have to adjust to change the fight. And Garza was the one who adjusted. For a while, he forgot about technique and just bowled forward and made it a fight.
Oh, now Coggi pressing forward here in round number 12. Final minute of the fight. Coggi will have to pick that up and sustain it for 60 seconds.
Coggi's output in this round is far greater than in many other rounds in this fight, and it would definitely lead me to conclude that he didn't put out enough in some of the other rounds. He's got too much left.
Now Garza wants to finish strong. Ties up Coggi. 30 seconds to go in the fight. It's been a good one. Should be interesting to see how the judges score it. Garza and Coggi for the WBA Junior Welterweight Championship. The final 10 seconds. We'll have the decision after this timeout on Sports Channel America. Welcome you back to the Acropolis in Nice, France. Bob Papa along with Dave Bontempo. We await the decision. Does Juan Coggi retain his WBA Junior Welterweight title and make his 5th defense? Or does Sacramento's own Loreto Garza come away with the championship? Dave, how'd you see it scored?
116 to 112 in favor of Garza.
There you see his 6-year-old son, Martin, crying about Dave's prediction.
Coggi, 115 points, Garza, 116.
Well, one of the judges has it 115-115.
Coggi, 115, Garza, 115, match nul.
One judge has Garza ahead, 116-114. A lot closer than we thought. Will we have a draw? Loreto Garza wins a majority decision. The 3rd judge had it 116-115, and very close. Ahead on 1 point on one judge's card, 2 points on the other, and the 3rd judge had it 115 all. Loreto Garza wins the WBA Junior Welterweight title, takes it away from Juan Coggi.
We talked about the need to come up big on the road, and that's exactly what Garza did. He needed every bit of that margin that he acquired earlier in the fight, because Coggi came on strong.
And Loreto gets a hug from his wife, Olga, and he will take the title back home to Sacramento, California. Loreto Garza improves his record to 27-1-1 as he wins a majority decision in Nice, France, and wrestles away the WBA Junior Welterweight Championship from Juan Coggi on